yeah, I just bought the Rolly store. That's my thing. I'm gonna play some Roblox. Hey. Roblox. Hey. Yeah. There's my family in the background. So yeah, I'm the most first kid that came out. So I have 5 people in my family. Actually 7 people including me. So I'm probably the first one. Nope. Okay. Put you in a trance. Whew. Sorry, my friends. 13. What? No! Jeez. Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th game. This game has everything. Friday the 13th game. Friday the 13th. Escape. See if they have alien. Alien is my favorite. He's my favorite. Alien apocalypse. Nope. I'm glad they had this alien. What should we play today? DashieXP. to get a rifle. Oh yes, DashieXP, you I come to kill you, to ruin your life. We'll be talking about a lot later of DashieXP. So the first time the first game came out was DashieXP, which we all know was plastic. So he first started out as a Sonic character. So yes, Super Sonic. And never hear it, because he'll know that DashieXP's coming for you. And it started out as a game so the first game that came out was DashieXP, we all know it could cost. So because of DashieXP, he kills everyone, including someone else. He was angry. being said, that's how Sonic EXE got so that's how the original became. So, that being said, skip it. No reason. Time to go suicide mode. Super set. Shit, they took down Sonic EXE. Son of a monkey. This thing's my dog. Answer this one. And that's how it all became Sonic.exe. Which is very good because Skull was in it too. So, without further ado, on the thing, I'm going to show WWE. I'm going to show you a video. If you don't believe me, check it out. I'll try to just get this. There we go. I'm going to show you a video. I became Sonic.exe. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a long time. Let's go with the okay. Oh, you story No, I said CXE. It's supposed to be EXE. So the game explained what, who, and what is Sonic.exe. So let's see what this.
I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I like how you get to explore the towns in it, until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual and left. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only
Hello everybody, Dylan here. Now, today we're going to be reading a troll pasta. Today's troll pasta is very special because throughout all of my channel I've read Sonic.exe knockoffs, Sonic.exe parodies, but I never actually read a Sonic.exe story. Today's story is a troll pasta about Sonic.exe. This story is going to be taking the events of Sonic.exe and rewriting them, putting a new twist on it. It's really short, but I'm sure you guys are going to like it. So let's get right into this today on DHT.
Story about Sonic DHT.
Sonic.exe, the real story. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. I love the newer games, and I never played the classics. I don't think I've ever played any of the classic games, because they look too old and outdated. It was a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Lost Worlds for the first time when I noticed the mailman driving up to the mailbox. He put the mail in the mailbox and left to deliver more mail, because that's his job. Deliver mail, because he's a mailman. I went to get the mail, and I saw a yellow envelope with a note from my long-lost friend, Kyle. I haven't spoken to Kyle in a year, but somehow I recognize his handwriting. Though it did look weird, it looked scratchy, like he had to do it in a hurry. Maybe he wrote it while taking a shit. I don't know. This is what he wrote. Tom, destroy this game as soon as you get it. If you don't, you could be killed by a Sonic the Hedgehog plushie. Please, destroy it, smash it, burn it, piss on it, for all I care. Do something. Please, ... Kyle. The note scared me. I opened the CD case and saw a CD that said Sonic 1 on it. It looked like it was written on with a magic marker. I took the game out to my backyard and placed it on a perfectly cut tree stump. I went into the shed and pulled out my trusty sledgehammer. I took the sledgehammer and continuously kept beating the game until it shattered into a million pieces. After that, I took the pieces and placed them into a burning barrel where I had a bonfire later that night. At 11:52 p.m., I put the fire out and I went to bed. I had happy dreams for the rest of the night. The end. So, with only one spelling mistake I noticed, it said or instead of for. This is actually a really good troll pasta. He makes fun of the original writer, JC the Hyena, by saying that he didn't like the classic games at all when JC was obsessed with the classic games. He changes the story to where it makes sense that the mailman would deliver mail. I don't know why he hyped it up to begin with. And he actually just took Kyle's advice and smashed the game from the start. This is a perfect satire. It wasn't too ridiculous. It wasn't too vulgar. It wasn't too just out of the ordinary. It was just a nice little translation. It was a good parody of Sonic.exe. Sonic.exe is ridiculous, over the top, stupid, and cliched. This is a nice little simple story to make fun of it. It's what would happen if any rational person got that note and that disc in the mail. They would smash it. So, I hope you guys liked this video. Really short, crappy pasta. Just thought you guys would enjoy it. I found this one the other day. It isn't that old. So, if you want to go check it.
Secret ending. .exe. Here's.
Hello YouTube, welcome back to Sonic.exe. Now from what I understand, there's several little Easter eggs hidden throughout the thing, which basically involve collecting negative rings to unlock a secret ending and a translation to the Chinese text. No, excuse me, it's not Chinese. Hopefully that was far enough. I don't know if you can tell, I'm a little annoyed, but yes, far enough. Good. Whoa. Oh, this is trippy. This is nothing like this. Strip your flesh from your body. Oh. Well, that's nice. Why are you so quiet now, Stanek? Stanek, speak to me. I demand you. Why do you keep fighting, Thomas? A game is only just begun. God dang it. Okay. Let's go back and get that ring. Got it. Now, I just gotta finish this, and then I should be good to go. I should get the ending. Oh, yeah, there's the translation. There is a way to release ourselves, a spell to obtain souls once more. But we must speak it. But when we speak, no sound, we are all deaf. So failure is inevitable, and I regret everything in entering my internal bed with the devil inside of me. Immortally versus soul-snatching, Gary Grook versus Jake Shanley. Ambition is overrated. Now, to my knowledge, this will go on for a little bit. And sorry, I shook my webcam. Wow, I call it a webcam. Yep, there we go. Oh, we get to play Sonic now. Coolio. Okay. You had a chance to comply. Now you've come too far. Oh, well. I seem to be in the same place. I didn't really move. Can you hear them? They're trying to tell you something. Oh, this is creepy. Please stop screaming. I'm getting chills down my legs. Oh, playing with them was such fun. Almost as fun as you, Thomas. Oh, the rings and stuff is backwards. I didn't even realize. There was Gary and Jake and Kyle and Alice and so many more. I don't know any of these people. There's some weird noises going on here. Oh no, more shippy stuff. I have a feeling that's a word, but I can't read it. It's time your soul or join theirs, Thomas. I don't know. I like my soul being here on Earth. Just saying. I feel like I missed something. The score meter's gone and stuff. I'll see it back when I rewatch the editing and stuff. God, this is creepy. This is like worse than actually playing the game the first time. Oh. Yeah, you're gross. You need to brush your teeth, honestly. You're disgusting. You're weird. Do I just keep walking forward? I don't think I can do anything. I'm just gonna keep pressing the forward button and see if that does anything. More Chinese text. Japanese. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I promise. I'm not trying to do this. I just really don't know you guys' languages very well. Okay. Is it all over? I can't tell. I think it's over, because this is where it ended last time. Okay, well, that appears to be it, so thank you everybody so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like to let me know, because I had a lot of fun with this. This is a lot of fun. And share it if you will, because then people will know about it. I will have a fun time getting to tell people and talk to people about it. Yay! Anyway, I'll see all of you sometime in the future. Bye-bye! Got the second power-up. That's 2 things. Sonic power.
And this was the secret ending. There are lots of videos actually. So here's the real story. DashieXP. I don't know how to do this.
I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hack games before, though I
don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. What was certainly weird, even though Kyle is my best friend, and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks. I didn't do what he asked me. I didn't think that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad to him. After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong about that. Anyway, I looked at the disc, turned on my computer, and put the disc in, and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game. I was like, awesome, because like I said earlier, I like the classics. The first thing I noticed that was out of place was when I pressed start. There was a split second when I saw the title image turned into something much different. Something that I now consider horrifying. Before cutting to black, I remember what the image looked like in that split second before the game cut to black. The sky had darkened. The title emblem was rusted and ruined. The Sega 1991 was now, instead, Sega 666. And the water had turned red, like blood, except it looked hyper-realistic. But the freakiest thing was, in the split-second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding with 2 glowing red dots, staring right at me. And his smile had stretched wider, up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, though I figured that it was just a glitch and forgot about it. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so. And then, another weird thing happened. The save file select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, what the fuck? What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Anyway, then I noticed something off. The background was a dark cloudy sky of the Bad Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD. And there were only 3 save files. The music was that creepy Caverns of Winter music from Earthbound. Only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse. And the image for the save file where you see a preview of the level you were on is just red static for all 3 files. What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and, to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. Now I was sure something was up. I mean, how can you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game for crying out loud?
Yeah, that's kind of right.
That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It was a hack game.
Dr.
Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy, but as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared. Or at least, I tried not to be. I told myself that it was just a hack game and there was nothing wrong with that. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked File 1 and chose Tails. And when I selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds and I heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded an awful lot like that Kafeka guy from Final Fantasy. Before cutting to black. The screen stayed for about 10 seconds or more, then it showed the typical level title thing, except the simplistic shapes were different shades of red, and the text showed only Hill, Act 1. The screen faded in and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different though, it sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyway, I started playing and Tails started running like you would in any other classic Sonic game. What was odd was that as Tails was running along the level, there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down into slow, deep tones. Very slow. As I kept going, I suddenly saw something and I stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground, bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face that I never saw him have before. So, I had to move along and he kept that worried look on his face. As Tails kept moving,
I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried. As the music lowers and he moves past more dead animals, I was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like someone killed them in rather gruesome ways. A squirrel was hanging on a tree with what appeared to be entrails hanging out. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off, and a duck had his eyes gouged out and his throat slit. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw the massacre, and apparently, so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there were no more animals, and the music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Tails to continue. After a minute passed, after the music stopped, Tails was running uphill and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was there, on the other side of the screen, with his back against Tails, with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile flattered, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious of Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed that I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make him move. So this had to be a cutscene. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feeling of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was going to happen. I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic, and stopped, and stuck his hand out to touch him. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black, with those red glowing dots. Just like that title image, though
That's him.
there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black, and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds, and then white text appeared, forming a message, saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level with the level title now saying, "Hide and Seek." This time, I was in the Angel Island level from Sonic 3, and it looked like everything was on fire. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted to get out of the area as fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the 4th wall, trying to tell me to get him out of there. So, I pressed down on the arrow key as hard as I could, and made him run as fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow and Ark as Robotnik from SA2 was playing as I made Tails trek through the desolate forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he was running from. Suddenly, I heard that creepy laugh again. That awful laugh. Right after 10 seconds have passed, as I helped Tails run through the forest, and then I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping everywhere on the screen, again, with those black and red eyes. The music changed to that suspenseful, drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly gaining up on him, flying. Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying. The flying pose the sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD, except it was just Sonic, and he then had the black and red eyes again, only this time he had the most deranged looking grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little fox as he gained up on him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, another cutscene, the music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 seconds. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and I kind of teared up myself. But then, Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Sonic's, as a grin slowly grew from his face, as he looked down at the horrified fox. I could do nothing but watch. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow. Wanna try again?" And then, that god-awful laugh came with it. I was so shocked by what happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails are supposed to be best friends. Why did Sonic do that to him? I shook the shock off as I was brought back to the character select. The save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the box itself, but in the TV screen itself, which was flickering with that red static.
Just go faster and faster.
Tails' expression scared me. Their hallway. This one was longer than the last one, or at least it felt like it. And then we headed down another flight of stairs. This one was much longer, took us at least a full minute. And then I heard that horrid laugh again. And then the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red, and the torches were a black flame now. When Robotnik landed on the third hallway, I noticed he now looked really creeped out. Though he tried to hide it, I couldn't blame him. I was scared too. Suddenly, Sonic popped right in front of Robotnik, the same way he did Knuckles, and then red static. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds, and then it showed me a most unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic, standing in darkness where you can only see his face while his head and torso faded into black. And when I say hyper-realistic, I mean like, looked so real you could actually see the lines in his blue fur. As if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen. His face, oh god, he had the most horrifying smile I had ever seen. And that's saying something considering I saw that image at the start of the game. His eyes are wide and black and, once again, crying blood, which also looked hyper-realistic, and there were 2 small glowing red dots in those black eyes, staring right at me, as if staring into my mind. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the sides of his face, like a Cheshire cat. Except, Sonic had fangs. Very sharp fangs, much like Werehog's teeth, except more vicious looking, somewhat yellowish, and from the look of it, he had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on his lips and fangs, as if he ate some animal. I stared at the gruesome image for a good 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off it. I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me. That face, it just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself into my brain for good. The second screen flickered with red static again, 3 times, and on the 3rd time I heard that laugh again. Except this time it sounded distorted. Demonic even. It went back to the image again, except this time there was a text again, though it was messed up, but it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. I am God. It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic when it hit me. I realized right there and then, this Sonic was a monster. A pure evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster. And all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are coming from them. And he had a dead-like expression on his face. I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, and I cried a bit.
I'm on a live stream!
I pitied them for the agony they're going through. They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog, and always will be. Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what I did. I sat there for maybe 25 seconds, horrified by what just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He